Hello, my sweet, sweet fans and great subscribers. Thank you for tuning in. Remember to like, comment, share. And if you have not yet subscribed, what are you waiting for? Please subscribe. You'll help my channel to grow. Today I'm talking about something that doesn't happen very frequently here. But when I stumbled upon it, it got me thinking. You see, there are a number of very wealthy Westerners that have decided that they will not leave the bulk of their fortune behind for their kids. Essentially, they have no intention of leaving an inheritance for their children. I'm not talking people who are earning some pennies here and there. I'm talking of billionaires. I'm talking of multi-millionaires. I'm talking of people who are moneyed. People who, here, most of us, you see all these people stealing money, stealing government money and everything. Most of them, it's because they want their children to live a life of luxury. They don't want their children to suffer any stress, if possible, their children and their children's children, and so on and so forth. And they will do anything it takes to make that happen, They want their children to be the one issuing the orders and not taking the orders, So even now, they do everything. They send the children to the best possible schools. I think that's very important. Give them luxuries that most, salary earners cannot afford. When they're done, they're settled. Everybody has something established for them. And there's, you can anticipate that there's probably something for you in the will as well. I consider a will as a final parting gift, But that's me. I think of a will as a gift. Other people see it as an entitlement. And that's one thing about us. Because of our brother's keeper culture, because of our communal approach to doing things, people's children always take it for granted, especially sons, that they will inherit the family wealth when the father passes on. And usually that's what happens, especially when he dies intestate. That's without a will. The firstborn son just automatically, collects everything. Sometimes even leaving the mother in penury. This has happened so many times. And if there are a number of children, maybe a number of males, and there's another son that feels like, no, I'm not about to sit around and allow this person to shortchange me, then the infighting begins. And that is usually the catalyst for destroying the entire empire. So certainly, having a will matters. It helps. If there are people that have sense, they will, or let me not put it that way, because there are instances where people could feel genuinely aggrieved about the terms and conditions of a will. So let me not put it that way. But if a will is properly crafted and, the people who are affected decide to respect the last wishes of, the person who crafted that will, the family usually has peace, but that is no guarantee that what has been left behind will be properly managed. You know the irony of life? Whatever you don't strive for, you do not appreciate or value. Let that sink in. When you break a sweat to get something, you value it more than when it is handed to you on a platter of gold. Because you don't know the stress that went into getting that thing that was just dashed to you. So you get careless with it. Sometimes, even if you don't want to get careless with it, you are just not equipped to grow it any further than what you've been given. You lack the skills to build it beyond what you collected. Because another grave mistake some of these parents make, some of the really wealthy make, is they're so busy positioning their children to become Lord and Master that they forget that there's a journey to that place. And that it does the child good to go through the grind, to learn the ropes. Because even if you're planning to leave something for that child or to that child, if the child is not equipped to grow it, it will die. And once it dies, the child will be back in the state that you were trying to avoid to begin with. And the parents also forget that the reason that they, the parents, are wealthy today is because they had to go through a certain grind. They had to face some level of deprivation. They had to face suffering and poverty. It builds character. Whether you like it or not, it's the truth. If you don't go through some level of hardship, you're so soft that the first breeze that comes along just blows you away. But the same parents who go through that grind to become who they are today protect their children from anything that could give that child a spine and help the child to stand. So that more often than not, that child lacks the mettle that the parent has. Of course, I'm not talking about families where there's generational wealth. From the great-grandfather to the father to the... It's not those ones I'm talking of. Oh. I don't even know how God chooses to do his thing. There are families that have generational wealth. So that there's no need for the person to... If they decide to apply themselves, they just want to apply themselves to feel good, as a feel-good thing. Certainly not because they want to earn anything. They already have. It's not those ones I'm talking about. I'm talking of those people that the French refer to as the nouveau riche, the newly rich, first generation of wealth. Of course, nobody wants their child to suffer. But apart from sending your children to good schools, how else are you helping them to develop their character? What other skills are you equipping them with to be able to stand on their 2 feet when you are not there? So for these multi-billionaires in the West who have decided that they are not going to leave the bulk of their wealth to their kids, I will say the bulk of their wealth because I personally cannot fathom a situation where somebody is a multi-millionaire in dollars and then you die and you don't leave anything to your child. I can't fathom it. Maybe it's the African in me. So I'm saying that they have no intention of leaving the bulk of their wealth to their children. Bill Gates, for instance, has made it clear that he only intends to leave $10 million per child. I think he has 3 children, 2 girls and a boy, I believe. $10 million is a life changer for most people walking the earth. So that is not a bad deal at all. But when you consider the fact that we're talking about one of the richest men in the world, it's peanuts. It's peanuts. There's another person who said that for his part, what he has told his children is that he has given them an education. Whatever income they're able to generate as a result of applying themselves, he will double that every year till he dies. But that when he dies, he's not leaving anything behind for them in his will. So they should get to the program. So I get it. It's a kind of a tough love thing. They don't want their children to be useless, essentially, to live a wasted life because they already have so much. that they are not inspired or motivated to achieve anything on their own or become their own person. However, while on paper this looks beautiful and brilliant, for me, the only place I would have a quarrel with it is this. Apart from the academic book sense that you've paid for your child to go to the best schools and everything, the truth is I don't really understand how the Western educational system is configured. But I know that in Nigeria, equipping your child with the best academic whatever is not enough for that child to become wealthy tomorrow. If the child applies him or herself well enough, they will be able to live a decent life, but they will certainly not be wealthy. They will be able to get by. Because our educational system is not configured to help you know how to make money. Not at all. Not by miles. So if a Nigerian parent wants to adopt this template, for instance, my question to that parent would be, okay, fine. What kind of lifestyle have you taught this child? Have you put that child in a position where everything they desire, you pay for, and they've gotten used to it? Then all of a sudden, one bright sunny day, you wake up and you tell that same child, when I die, I'm not leaving anything for you in my will. Are you fine? How have you equipped that child to cope with the lifestyle? This is what I call a setup. It's what I call a setup. You've set that child up for failure. And then now you're coming to tell that child that this lifestyle you're already accustomed to it to. Get ready. When I die, I'm not going to give you anything. The will probably be contested in court. I'm talking of here. I don't know how they are doing their thing over there. Here. Who are you planning to leave all the plenty million for? Ooh, that's the first thing. That person will probably get killed in the first week. If you are lucky and your children are not criminally minded, they might decide to go and contest it in court. And the chances of them not getting anything at all will be slim, I think. But then again, I always alert us that I'm not a lawyer. I'm just thinking through these things as a layperson. So while it caught my interest and on paper it looks like something that, okay, I would say the kind of society you live in, the way you have raised your children, the strengths you have equipped them with, the kinds of person they are, all these things should play in. If I'm a multi-millionaire and I have this child who maybe is not necessarily the most hardworking person or whatever, but this child has shown me love. This child has shown me respect. This is the child that is my right-hand person. This is the child that is there when I am sick. Then because I want that child to have a spine, to develop him or herself and everything, then I will die and not leave I will leave everything for that child. So for me, at the end of the day, it's even the kind of person you are as a child. Because we're human beings. We tend to be ruled by emotion more than anything else. I will encourage you. I will tell you that, yes, this thing is at your disposal, but if you don't manage it properly, it will finish. Money doesn't like being disrespected. That's what I've come to realize in life. If you disrespect money, she walks away. So my child, manage this money properly. These are the deficiencies I've noticed in you. Try and work on these things. I'm giving you my last gift. But these are the things you need to work on if you're going to be in a position where you can pass this gift on to your own children as well. You know. So for me, it's a dicey one. On the other hand, no matter how brilliant my child is in school, how highly skilled, how effective, how driven, and this, that, and the other the child is, you treat me with disdain, you treat me with disrespect, and things like that. I can even cut you out of the will about yourself. After all, you're already driven. You go and get it yourself. Me cutting you out of the will only delay you. It will not stop anything that's coming your way. So I feel as if there's so many nuances around these things, and for any parent who might be considering something like that in our climes here in Nigeria, you really need to think it through. Have you played your full role as a parent? And that has to go beyond I paid school fees in good schools. It's not enough. Have you done your part as a parent to build that child in a way that the child can stand? This is probably not a debate for here. It's not something that is suited to our environment. But it was certainly something that got me thinking, and I figured I'd share my thoughts on it.